There's something sitting in your fridge right now that shouldn't be there. It looks completely normal, maybe even healthy. But for seniors, keeping this one food cold could quietly damage your digestion, weaken your immune system, or even lead to harmful bacteria growing right inside your home. And it's not just one. 13 everyday foods that are being stored the wrong way in nearly every senior's kitchen. Stay with this video, because by the end, you'll know exactly what to move out of your fridge before it puts your health at risk. Let's dive into it. Number 13. Fresh basil and other delicate herbs. Fresh herbs like basil may seem to last longer in the fridge, but cold temperatures actually damage them. Basil is especially sensitive to cold, and refrigeration triggers oxidation in the leaves, causing them to turn black, wilt, and lose their signature flavor. You've probably noticed a once vibrant bunch of basil go limp and brown in the fridge within a day or two. That's because basil thrives in warmth and reacts poorly to cold environments. Not only does refrigeration dull its aroma and taste, but it also reduces its nutritional value. Many herbs, including basil, contain antioxidants and vitamins that degrade when their delicate tissues are chilled or bruised. Why it's a concern? For seniors, who often use herbs to add flavor without salt or to get a gentle vitamin boost, losing basil's freshness means losing both taste and health benefits. Once blackened, it's likely to be tossed, leading to unnecessary food waste. The better method? Store basil like a bouquet. Trim the stems and place them in a glass of water on the countertop, away from direct sunlight. You can loosely cover the top with a plastic bag to retain moisture. This way, basil stays vibrant, flavorful, and packed with heart-healthy nutrients. Skip the fridge to get the most out of every leaf. Number 12. Coffee, beans or ground. If you're tempted to keep your coffee in the fridge to stay fresh, senior friends, think twice. Coffee is notoriously hygroscopic. It absorbs moisture and odors from its surroundings. In the refrigerator, the humidity can seep into your coffee beans or grounds, causing condensation and dampness. This not only strips away the rich flavor, but can also invite mold growth. A fridge full of food odors can turn your coffee rancid or weirdly scented. More importantly, damp coffee can develop mild mold. And while most coffee mold levels are low, it's still not something you want to ingest daily. Some experts note that moldy coffee may cause headaches, irritability, or stomach problems in sensitive individuals. Symptoms that seniors definitely don't need more of. Why it's a concern? For seniors, maintaining good nutrition and hydration is key, and that includes your morning cup of coffee. When fridge storage ruins the taste, you might add extra sugar or creamer to make it palatable, which isn't great for blood sugar or cholesterol. Worse, if mold does grow, those mycotoxins could burden your immune system over time. The better way to store coffee is in an airtight container in a cool, dry pantry, away from sunlight and moisture. Number 11. Honey. It is often considered a miracle food. And one miracle is that pure honey never needs refrigeration to stay safe. In fact, putting honey in the fridge does more harm. Cold temperatures cause honey to crystallize into a hard, sugary sludge. You'll find your honey turning cloudy and gritty, making it difficult to pour or spread. For seniors who use honey as a natural sweetener, refrigeration creates an unnecessary hassle. Importantly, honey is naturally resistant to spoiling. Its high sugar content and acidic pH prevent bacteria and mold from growing. That's why archaeologists have found edible honey in ancient Egyptian tombs. So putting honey in the fridge is not only unnecessary, but it can also destroy some of honey's delicate enzymes and antioxidants, if you later overheat it to re-liquefy the crystals. Why it's a concern? While crystallized honey isn't dangerous in itself, it can lead to risky behavior like heating the jar or using excessive force to scoop it. Moreover, seniors often opt for honey for its antimicrobial and antioxidant benefits, and those could be diminished if you repeatedly heat and cool the honey due to crystallization. The best practice is to keep honey in a tightly sealed jar at room temperature in a dry place. It will stay good indefinitely and retain all its beneficial properties. Number 10. Avocados. How many times have we put an unripe avocado in the fridge thinking we're keeping it fresh? Unfortunately, that just freezes your progress, literally. Avocados do not start ripening until after they're picked. And cold temperatures completely halt the ripening process. If you refrigerate a hard avocado, it will remain rock hard and under-ripe for an extremely long time. By the time you take it out, it might never properly soften. Or it could turn black inside without ever becoming creamy. For seniors, avocados are a wonderful source of heart-healthy fats and potassium, nutrients that help with blood pressure and brain health. But those benefits are mostly available when the avocado is ripe and soft. An unripe avocado is not only unpleasant to eat, but also harder to digest and lower in the absorbable beneficial fats. Why it's a concern: if you store avocados improperly, you may end up missing out on their nutritional benefits entirely. Worst case, a senior might strain a hand trying to cut a stubborn green avocado, risking injury, or simply toss it out in frustration. The key is to ripen avocados at room temperature. Leave them on the counter until they yield slightly to a gentle press. Number 9. Melons, watermelon, cantaloupe, etc. It might surprise you, but whole melons should be kept out of the fridge before cutting. Why? Storing melons at room temperature can significantly boost their nutritional value. A landmark study found that watermelons stored at room temp for 14 days had dramatically higher antioxidant levels, up to 40% more lycopene, and 139% more beta-carotene, compared to melons kept in the fridge. These antioxidants are powerful compounds linked to healthy aging. Lycopene supports heart health and cancer prevention, while beta-carotene is great for vision and immune function. In cold storage, the melon's natural ability to produce these nutrients is stunted. So for seniors, a refrigerated whole melon is essentially a less nutritious melon. Additionally, frigid air can dull a melon's flavor and aroma. Ever notice how a chilled watermelon sometimes tastes a bit flat? That's the cold at work. Why it's a concern: missing out on extra vitamins might not cause immediate harm, but over time seniors need every bit of nutrition they can get from foods. If refrigerating a melon means you're getting fewer antioxidants, that's a lost opportunity for better health. There's also a texture factor. Very cold temperatures can alter the flesh of melons, making it mealy or mushy. The good news: you can store whole watermelons, cantaloupes, and other melons on the counter safely until you cut them. Number 8. Tomatoes. Seniors, if you love a good tomato on your sandwich or salad, here's a crucial tip: never refrigerate fresh tomatoes. While it might seem like the fridge keeps them from spoiling, it actually ruins both their taste and nutritional value. Tomatoes are a warm weather fruit and react poorly to cold. Chilling a tomato mutes its flavor by suppressing the enzymes that ripen it. So you end up with a bland, dull-tasting tomato. Even worse, cold breaks down the tomato's delicate cell structure. That's why refrigerated tomatoes often become mealy and mushy instead of firm. From a health perspective, refrigeration can reduce the levels of antioxidants like lycopene and beta-carotene in tomatoes. Lycopene is the red pigment linked to heart health and cancer prevention, which aging bodies truly benefit from. One source notes that the cold diminishes the nutritional value of tomatoes, robbing seniors of some of the heart-healthy goodness they provide. Why it's a concern: a mushy, flavorless tomato isn't just sad on the palate. It might lead you to skip eating this nutritious vegetable altogether. Seniors who refrigerate tomatoes could be losing out on vitamin C, potassium, and lycopene that supports cardiovascular health. Also, if a tomato's texture is ruined, you may end up throwing it away, contributing to food waste and missing a chance for a healthy meal. Instead, store tomatoes at room temperature, away from direct sunlight. Number 7. Bananas. Ever wonder why your bananas turn brown or black in the fridge? Bananas, like many tropical fruits, hate the cold. Refrigeration stops the ripening process and damages their cell walls, making the peel dark and unappetizing. Worse, a green banana stored in the fridge may never ripen properly. For older adults, this matters more than just appearance. Unripe bananas are high in resistant starch, which can trigger constipation and digestive discomfort. Common issues among seniors. On the other hand, ripe bananas are rich in soluble fiber. That helps promote regularity. By refrigerating bananas, you risk eating them in a hard-to-digest state, or tossing them due to how they look. The fix? Store bananas at room temperature until they develop brown spots. That's when they're sweet, easy to digest, and nutrient-rich. Got too many ripe ones? Freeze them for smoothies or baking, instead of chilling them. Number 6. Onions. Keeping a cut onion in the fridge might seem harmless, but it can pose real risks, especially for seniors. Whole, unpeeled onions should be stored in a cool, dry pantry, not in the fridge. Cold temperatures speed up the conversion of starches to sugars, making onions spoil faster. In the humid environment of a crisper drawer, they can turn soft, soggy, and even moldy. A bigger issue? Cut onions can attract bacteria and mold. There's an old belief that onions absorb germs, and it's not entirely wrong. A cut onion in the fridge can pick up airborne microbes. That may lead to digestive discomfort or even infections. For seniors with weaker immune systems, this increases the risk of foodborne illness. Spoiled onions also lose their flavor and powerful antioxidants like quercetin, which help reduce inflammation. The best practice? Store whole onions in a ventilated, dry place. If you must refrigerate a cut onion, seal it in an airtight container, and use it within 24 hours to stay safe and enjoy the health benefits. Number 5. Ginger. Ginger root is a powerful and popular remedy, but storing it the wrong way, especially in the fridge, can lead to serious problems. Ginger contains a lot of natural moisture, and when it's chilled and then brought back to room temperature, that moisture can create the perfect environment for mold. This risk increases if the ginger has been cut, or worse, frozen and thawed multiple times. Moldy ginger isn't just unpleasant, it can be dangerous. Certain molds produce mycotoxins, which have been linked to kidney and liver damage over time. Even if you don't see visible mold, a soggy or slimy texture is a warning sign that spoilage has started. Seniors often use ginger to ease nausea, joint pain, or digestion. But using a spoiled piece could have the opposite effect, leading to stomach upset or even foodborne illness. That's especially risky for older adults who are more vulnerable to dehydration and infections. The better option? Store whole, unpeeled ginger in a dry, cool spot like your pantry or counter in a paper bag. If you need to freeze ginger, do it once, and portion it out in advance. That way, you retain the health benefits without the hidden risks. Number 4. Bread. It might seem like a smart move, but refrigerating bread actually does more harm than good, especially for seniors. Many people put bread in the fridge to prevent mold, but cold temperatures cause the starches in bread to recrystallize, making it go stale much faster. The result? Dry, hard slices that are tough to chew. Problematic for anyone with dentures or sensitive teeth. And contrary to popular belief, refrigeration doesn't stop mold growth if there's moisture. Mold can still develop. And because the bread is drier, we may overlook mold spots until it's too late. For seniors, this is a serious concern. Eating moldy bread can trigger allergic reactions, respiratory issues like asthma, and in some cases, expose you to mycotoxins that harm the liver or cause vomiting. The fridge gives a false sense of safety, potentially leading to stale or unsafe bread being consumed. A safer choice? Store bread at room temperature if you'll use it within a couple of days. For longer storage, freeze it. Freezing preserves freshness and prevents mold without compromising texture. Just thaw slices as needed. Number 3. Garlic. It is prized for both its bold flavor and impressive health benefits, often dubbed a natural antibiotic. But storing garlic in the refrigerator is a common mistake that can do more harm than good. Whole garlic bulbs thrive in cool, dry environments. In the fridge, excess moisture and cold accelerate spoilage. Especially in peeled or cut garlic, which is highly prone to mold. The mold may not be visible right away, hidden under the skin. But once peeled, cloves may show spots or a bluish tint. This isn't just unappetizing, it's potentially dangerous. Some molds on garlic produce mycotoxins, which are linked to cancer and liver strain when consumed over time. Refrigeration also causes garlic to sprout and lose potency, becoming rubbery or bitter. For seniors relying on garlic for its heart and immune benefits, this is a real loss. Worse, degraded garlic may push you to use more salt or unhealthy flavorings. The solution? Store whole bulbs in a dry, well-ventilated spot like a pantry or a countertop bowl, away from sunlight. Garlic stored this way can last for months without sprouting. If you must store peeled garlic, freeze it in oil, never refrigerate. Proper storage protects garlic's flavor and its powerful, health-boosting compounds. Number 2. Potatoes and sweet potatoes. This one's crucial. Never store potatoes in the refrigerator. While it might seem like a way to make them last longer, cold temperatures actually cause the starches in potatoes to convert into sugar much faster. That may not sound alarming until you cook them. When baked or fried, those sugars react and form acrylamide, a chemical flagged by health experts as a potential carcinogen. Animal studies link it to cancer, and organizations like the American Cancer Society recommend minimizing exposure. But there's more. If you're diabetic or managing blood sugar, refrigerated potatoes can cause higher glycemic spikes due to that sugar conversion. For seniors, many of whom deal with diabetes or prediabetes, this simple storage mistake carries real health risks. Mold and sprouting are also more likely in a damp fridge. The best way to store potatoes? In a cool, dark, well-ventilated place like a pantry or cellar, away from heat and light. Use a paper bag or breathable bin. And never wash them until you're ready to cook. Moisture speeds spoilage. Also, don't store them near onions. Both emit gases that make each other spoil faster. Proper storage keeps potatoes nutritious, tasty, and safe for long-term health, especially important for older adults. Number 1. Cooked rice. And now, one of the most overlooked yet dangerous foods to mishandle: cooked rice. Most people refrigerate leftover rice without thinking twice, but even in the fridge, rice can become a serious health hazard. Uncooked rice often contains spores of Bacillus cereus, a bacteria that survives cooking. Once rice cools, these spores can germinate and produce toxins. If rice is left out too long, or even stored in the fridge for several days, those toxins can build up to dangerous levels. This can cause what's often called fried rice syndrome, leading to vomiting, diarrhea, and severe dehydration. For seniors, who are more vulnerable to dehydration and complications, this can quickly become life-threatening. What many don't realize is that refrigeration only slows bacterial growth, it doesn't stop it. Even reheating won't help. The toxins are heat-resistant. Health agencies like the UK's NHS advise refrigerating rice promptly and keeping it no more than 24 hours. After that, the risk rises. Why it's a concern? Rice looks and smells fine even as toxins develop, making it easy to miss danger signs. Seniors should avoid meal prepping rice for the week. Instead, freeze extra portions, or cook small, fresh batches. Always reheat until piping hot. And remember, if rice is older than a day, it's safer to toss it. Rice is cheap. Your health isn't.